Crypto moves in seconds. Miss the pump, lose forever. BitProfits never sleeps.
With thousands of members winning daily.
While you hesitate, we profit. Join the elite now.
All right, guys, welcome back to the BitProfits VIP meeting. Today is Monday, November 24th, the week of Thanksgiving. So we're going to start by doing some technical analysis on Bitcoin and just kind of do some top-down analysis. Right now, I am looking at the daily on Bitcoin. Let me close this out. Let me jump down to the 4-hour. And you guys can see over the last few days, we had a bounce. We finally kind of got out of this super oversold territory. We got as low as like 20 RSI. We got as low as 20 RSI, but we did coincide with this key level here at 80,643 on Bitcoin. We had a bounce at this level. We had a bullish pin bar, and buyers started to come up and hold this price. You see, we reclaimed some moving averages. We had a MA cross here, which is a sign of a trend reversal. And now you see we are flirting with a resistance level here at 88K Bitcoin, 88.6 level on Bitcoin. So what we want to, and you see how the volume is tapering off. You see how big these volume candles are. And now you see volume kind of tapering off. So what I want to see is volume increase to break through this resistance with some volume. Or what we can do is just play a short here. We can play a short at this level, put our stop loss above at this 90K. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? All right. And RSI is pretty neutral. RSI is like 50 RSI. But with this kind of volume, I'm not seeing a lot of buyers stepping in to hold the price up, right? Buyers are not stepping in. We cannot hold above resistance. Look at here. Look at this candle. We wick to it. We close underneath it. Here, again, this is a 4-hour time frame. We wicked up, could not close above resistance. So what does that mean? This is like a reversal sign. And we see volume tapering off, okay? So this is actually a pretty good short opportunity here. I want to see volume increase, though, one way or another. So I would actually, just by looking at this, I would actually take this for a short, put my stop loss at this 90K. My first TP would be here, and I would work my way back down to this support level would be my final TP, okay? I can jump down to the 1-hour and see if it's, yeah, this is pretty much what I was expecting. You see it clearly on the 1-hour. You see how we broke above it, but we failed the retest. It did not break and hold. It broke and held, but it failed this retest. It's got to close here and keep going. It did not successfully bounce. It broke back down. We broke the moving average. We're closing underneath the moving average on the 1-hour, and we see the sales picking up. RSI, we're crossing down on the RSI. We had a convergence here. So I would actually like this play for a short here on Bitcoin. Like it for a short. 5 minute. 5 minute. We are oversold on RSI on the 5 minute. But we just see a lot of consolidation. We probably could get some kind of dead cat bounce. Notice how the MAs did not cross. The last MA cross we had was here. Remember, the MA cross signals a trend reversal, right? So it's going down. They're diverging away from one another, which is a sign of trend continuation. Here, they're close to each other, but they did not cross. So it's still a sign of a downtrend, okay? It's a sign of a downtrend. So that's how we play our MAs along with RSI, along with price action. Does that make sense? So that's how I'm reading the market. I see it being bearish because we could not break, hold, and pass the retest here. And then RSI on the 1-hour, we're like 50 RSI, pretty neutral. It really could go either way as far as RSI. But when you combine it with momentum, with volume, with price action, with candlesticks, it's just not giving bullish momentum. So the only way you play along on this is if it breaks this with volume, we close above this blue line, and we have a successful retest. You really played a retest. But that's what I see on Bitcoin. And most of the coins are gonna follow the lead of Bitcoin. Yesterday, let me go back to the daily. Yeah, the last couple of days, last 2 days, we had that kind of dead cat bounce. We came right into the resistance. So today very well could be bearish. Today could be very well be bearish. It could give back these gains. You see on the daily, we did have a bullish engulfing. We had increasing volume. We did cross up on the RSI. That's how you play a reversal. We crossed up here. But now let's just see how we have a lot of resistance here, right? We have the we have MA resistance on the daily. We have a resistance level on the daily. So we really want to try to break this with some volume. Okay. But for now, I would just go short. I would go with the trend and I would go short. Any other coins y'all want to look at as far as technical analysis?
No, I think that's you look at bonds.
Let me see what box. Let me jump down into our got a nice candle on bond here. Yeah. This 4 hour candle, this is good. This is good. Okay. Let me come here to the daily and look. Yeah. Bonk is looking good for a let me come in here and mark my levels real quick. I do horizontal line. Remember, we want to come to higher time frames and mark our key levels of support and resistance. So I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna go swing low, swing low. This is the lowest point it hit. I'm gonna do solid line because this is a on the daily. So I'm gonna change that to the a solid line. So this is the lowest point that it hit. What happened here? Buyer stepped in at this level, not here, not here, not here. It was at this swing low where buyers stepped in to push the price back up. This is the reversal point. That's why I'm marking this level as my key level of support. But that's why I just want to be clear as to why I'm marking the level here and not here and not here and not here. I'm marking it here because this is the swing low. This is the reversal point. Now, it does not mean that we entered a trade here. You didn't know that it was going to go up, right? When we say wait for confirmation, wait for confirmation. This was the swing low. Buyer stepped in at this level. We wouldn't enter this trade until here. Why? Because this is where we crossed up. Okay. This is where we crossed up. Now we get a bullish engulfing and we close above resistance. Now we're getting a retest. So this bonk actually looks pretty good for a long. But if Bitcoin closes bearish, how would the price action be on bonk? But this is the daily. Let me jump down to the 4 hour. 4 hour, you can kind of see it better. We are in that overbought territory on the 4 hour. So if it does retrace, if it does pull back, at what level will it pull back to? If this is a strong trend with this nice increasing volume, the pullback it shouldn't have a steep pullback. It should pull back here and retest this as support. It should flip this resistance as support. We broke it cleanly with volume. We broke and held over the key level of resistance, right? Now we want to see it pass the retest. We want to see it get here, bounce off of this level and keep going. So at this level, if we're bullish on bonk, we want to enter here on this retest. We enter here and put a stop loss. We'll put a tight stop loss. Does that make sense? Right. I would do it right underneath this level. Play here, play the retest, put a stop loss like right here. And it should respect, if this trend is going to continue, we'll get in here on this 4 hour candle. And we're going to jump down to the hourly in a second to pinpoint our entry. But we get in on this candle, and it should keep going long. Okay, and with a tight stop. But we are on the 4 hour, we are pretty overbought on the 4 hour. But you notice we were in this downtrend. Remember what I just said about the MAs. We were in a downtrend. You see how far the MAs were from one another, right? It was at this point that we got a MA cross. MA cross is a sign of trend reversal. So we went from downtrend. How long did this downtrend last? This downtrend lasted a while. We were in this downtrend, 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 downtrend. At this point, now we get an MA cross. MA cross is a sign of trend reversal or trend change. And mind you, we had consolidation here. We're super oversold on RSI. We got consolidation. Anytime we get all this consolidation, that's a side of building momentum for the next move. Now we get an MA cross. Now we get a bullish engulfing here. This is where you want to enter as far as, taking a long. Why? Because we have confluence. We have confluence with our MA. We have influence with increasing volume, and we enter on this candle. Now we break through resistance with volume. Now, if you're playing the breakout, I want to get in here on the retest. Don't try to wait for it to come. If it pulls back to here, it failed the retest, right? Like that's not really what you want to see. You want to see it respect the key level and keep going. I don't want to see it break down. It's like, why would I play? That's like a reversal play. If I'm taking a long, I want to see it respect the level, bounce off of the key level, flip resistance as to support. Does that make sense? The 1 hour, same thing with the 1 hour. Same thing with the 1 hour. You see it better as you notice how I started with the daily, then I go to the 4 hour, then I go to the 1 hour. I work my way down. So on the 1 hour, you see we're super overbought. We're over 70 RSI. We're super overbought, right? Now, just because the relative strength index said we're overbought, it does not mean that the price is necessarily going to come down. It could start to just consolidate above resistance, which is good. That's actually a bullish sign if we start to consolidate above resistance, right? And that would just allow for the RSI to just kind of reset. It'll work its way down. It'll work its way down, and then we can bounce with some increasing volume. Notice how the volume is. The volume is the total volume between buyers and sellers, right? We had this increasing volume, right? Now you see the volume kind of flatten out. So I want to see you this kind of play, you just kind of have to wait for confirmation. Let's see when it gets back to this level. Let's see what happens. Will we bounce? Will volume increase at this level or will it break down through this level? If it breaks down, we take a short. If it bounces, we take a long. But when they say wait for confirmation, that's what we mean. It's like we're consolidating, we're consolidating. We already had this big move. I can come in here to the 1 hour. We had a lot of consolidation here. So let me just say my swing low was here. I'm going to come to my measurement tool. We already had a move, 14%. That's a pretty big move in a day, right? 21 hours, that's less than a day. We had a big move. So let's see that consolidation. Let it build steam above resistance. Let it kind of reset the RSI. Let it build momentum for the next move up. But if it starts to crash down and sellers start taking profits, I wouldn't be taking longs. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I see on Bonk. Remember, we come to the 4 hour and the 1 hour for our trend to create our bias and our trend. That's how we find our trends on the 1 hour and 4 hour. We find our trade idea and our trade plan. We come down to the 5 minute and 1 minute to execute. So, like I said, what I see here, we had nice bullish momentum. We had increasing volume. We broke through a key level and held above a key level. Now, when I come down to my 5 minute, what I'm looking for, I want to see this RSI kind of reset. When I say reset, I want to get in as close to 30 RSI as possible, and I would take it for a long. Or if it breaks down through that key level, I want to start shorting. Does that make sense? But that's kind of what I see on Bonk. Let me jump into Floki, see what I see on Floki. I'm gonna start with the 4 hour. You kind of see we had, can I see it clearly here? Looks like we had an MA cross here. Like I just said, an MA cross is a sign of trend reversal. We were in this just downtrend, breaking through key levels with volume. See increasing volume. We break through these key levels. We consolidate, consolidate, consolidate. Here we were at a key level. We had a little bit of a bounce. It was like a dead cat bounce. It rejected off of the MAs. We broke through. We broke through support with volume. Look at increasing. See how volume increases, and we break through these levels. So this is where you be shorting. Like we break and hold through these key levels. That's when you want to start shorting. But we tried to bounce. We tried to bounce, but buyers are just not stepping in. And we see that with the MAs, the whole time the MA is being respected as pretty much like trend line support. The MA is being respected in the sense that you didn't get your cross until here. So if you're riding down this short, you're riding this short, yeah, you're making all this money short and short and shorting. You got to respect the fact that you see this sideways trend, right? We have this consolidation. Now we get it may cross here somewhere. You see the line, you see the green line and the orange line, the EMAs. We had a cross here, and now you start to see what? Increasing volume, and we're breaking through this channel. We were in this channel, right? Swing high, swing low. We breaking through this channel with increasing volume, and now we're looking for a retest. That's where we enter as far as the swing taking along. Correct? But that's just kind of what I see. And even on the 1 hour, we're in that overbought territory. We've been down the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. It may just very well get back to this level here and bounce here. Now, if we get back to this level and it breaks down with volume, see, volume is kind of tapering off. There's less sellers taking profit. You see, the volume is decreasing. Less sellers are selling. And we can just trickle down, trickle down, trickle down, let this RSI kind of reset, and then we could bounce here at this level. Because we just had such a big move, such a big, this was such a long down pattern, like the last week, last couple weeks of just selling, 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 selling. At some point, we got on the daily, you see, we got our bullish engulfing here. So at some point, it's like, okay, enough is enough. We got to fight back. Buyers have to step in and kind of, at this point, it's like, all right, it's too cheap and that's what you see on the daily. Is like, man, it's too cheap. Buyers are stepping in here at these levels. Okay. So that's just kind of what I see on Bitcoin, Floki, and Bonk.